and welcome to Perk Up Thursday. I'm Brooke Ledhoff, and I'm the Assistant Director here at the Entrepreneurship Center and Focus Suites. And it is my pleasure to introduce our spotlight speakers. Today we have Matt and Josie and Miriah here from Giving Realty. And I'm going to let you all introduce yourselves, and then we want to hear the story of Giving Realty.
Thanks for having us. It's neat to be here. Fairly recently, I know this has been going on a long time, but I kind of discovered the meetups and have been neat to hear everybody's story. And so I thought it'd be a neat idea if we applied to be a speaker and talk about our story. I don't know where we're at first. So I guess we talk, I've been a licensed realtor since 2002. And kind of worked for a small family firm, was a real estate investor and things like that, and over the years. And then in about 2018, I met Miriah when Miriah was first getting her license, and Josie right about the same time. And we just always had a good connection. Miriah and I worked really well together, and so we kind of tried to, I used to joke, to get the band back together when, and they had gone and started up their own small brokership, which we'll talk about in a little bit. And then I kept kind of calling Miriah, like, let's get together and have coffee and talk about ways we can work together. And it ended up being the forming of Giving Realty just a little over 2 years ago now. So, and I don't want anybody want to read that, but Miriah and Josie really came up with the concept of, we wanted to have a real estate company, but we wanted to have a real estate company that was different and did things better and was more community focused. Anybody can sell houses, right? But we wanted to sell houses and make a difference in our communities. And so they really had the concept. And most of our realtors have come to us because they like what we're doing. They see that we're giving back to the community. They see we're doing good things. So literally our realtors have reached out to us and say, like, how can I learn more about what you guys are doing? And so the main concept behind we just are all civic minded, and we all donate back to the community with every sale that we have, whether we're helping a buyer buy a house or helping a seller sell a house. And then all of our agents commit to making a donation to a charity of our client's choice. So if I sold John's house, then I'd say, John, what's your favorite charity? And, John might say People's City Mission or Matt Talbot Kitchen, or, there's tons of them that need our support. And then our brokerage, our company makes a donation, and then the agent does too. So the local nonprofit would get 2 checks. And everybody seems to be, really, really supportive of what we're doing. And, obviously the places that we donate to send us wonderful thank you notes, and then thank our clients too for thinking of them. And it's really been a fun adventure. And then we're also very, very good at selling houses too. But, but making an impact in the community is what we really set out to do from the start. So.
Maybe Camp Sunshine.
What's that?
Camp Sunshine.
Camp Sunshine, sure. Oh, I'm sure we've donated to them, yeah.
It's a good one.
So, yeah, we're just, that's really a summary of where we got started. I don't know, you want to talk a little bit about how you found the idea of Giving Realty and things like that? I don't have to do all the talking.
But you're really good.
It's like you have a degree in this or something. You are good.
So Miriah and I were actually friends prior to birth because our moms were really good friends.
Yeah. In the womb together, just not the same mom.
Yeah.
I was in the womb with somebody else. Yeah. There were already 2 in the one.
Yeah. And they've always been very community driven. We would grow up volunteering at the gathering place together, so it was important that we incorporated our community and giving back into our business model. So I taught in LPS, elementary education, for 11 years. Miriah was in distribution or
manufacturing.
Yeah.
I did small business operations for entrepreneurs, essentially.
And just both were in a place in our life where we wanted to do something a little bit different. So we started talking about I have a lot of family members that were in real estate, my in-laws, and I'd always been interested in it. And Miriah's very good at the business side of everything that she does. So we just got together and said, let's try it. And I went to another company for a couple of years in Lincoln, and Miriah and Matt worked together. So I got kind of a bigger brokerage experience, and she did the smaller business brokerage experience. And then we kind of combined everything we learned and opened Nebraska Giving Realty.
Yep.
That was our first logo.
Yeah. So that was, November of 2019, we officially started that company. And it was just Josie and I, and then my mom, randomly, she has served on every board in Lincoln, I think. And so she would help us reach out to nonprofits and that sort of thing. And so it was just Josie and I in like a, 8 by 10 foot, maybe not even that big office. And we had an incredible time. And then this amazing thing happened called COVID right after we started our business. So it was terrifying for a little while, but we made the best of it. We actually had a listing that needed some rehab. So we learned to lay some flooring, and we did a lot of
painting, of ripping up carpet.
Yeah. So we had a different experience. But then, so time went on, and then we started talking to Matt, and we just kind of rebranded. But so we've always had the 10%. That's been the foundation of our business since we started. We knew if we started a company that it had to be something we were proud of and was a reflection of our ethics. So we actually found a similar model in Austin, Texas called Give Realty, and they're an all-woman-owned company, and they are really awesome and have been going for a while. So we did that, and then we also brought in the green aspect. We're the only green certified brokerage in Nebraska. So sustainability is another part that we don't talk about as much, but I think, giving back and sustainability kind of go hand in hand. So, so we got together.
Can you share more about what that means to be the green?
Yeah, so essentially there's a certification it's called a green certification, and you take classes, and it's about resource efficiency, mostly in buildings. You see the LEED certified buildings and that sort of thing. It's a lot more prevalent in other states. California, a lot of people look at the green aspects of home. It's not quite as prevalent in Nebraska yet, but I think it will come, and we even talk about things like windows, that's a resource efficiency, insulation, things like this that do make a home more resource efficient. And so that's the green certification. Yeah.
Just picking up, if you don't mind.
Sure.
Picking up what Greg is saying, how do you apply that into working with clients?
So
If you're going to come to that, I want to get it.
yeah, no, that's fine. No, it's, when we're going through a home or something, we would discuss those aspects with them. And a lot of times they'll become selling points, if people want solar panels, different things. And so it's something that you can highlight about a house or something that a buyer is looking for. But again, it's just unfortunately not that prevalent yet here, but it will be. It'll come. And so it's just important to us because, again, we were raised in that way, that sustainability. And then our office, we don't, we have little small things. We don't do paper towels. We have reusable towels. We have dishes. We don't do plastic. We recycle all of the little kind of low-hanging fruit that an office, probably does, but not all do. And so we try to do the little stuff. Oh, that's a little fuzzy. Sorry about that.
Well, this is, I think, the thing that we're the most proud of. This was our first year, and we donated almost $30,000 to local charities. So we're, I feel like we're really making an impact. And then I did the math. It's over $75,000 in our first 2 years that we're giving back to the community. And this year we'll easily go over $100,000 of impact into the, Wow. So and you can't probably read them as good as we'd like, but, and then we have a website. So also on our website, if a client's like, oh, I don't know, you pick or whatever, which I've had happen a few times, we have a list of them on our website. You can go, and it links to all of the places that we've made donations to over the last few years, and then others that we haven't, but we've had some nonprofits reach out to us and say, hey, can we get on your website? Can we be listed as an option to donate to? So that's been pretty neat.
One thing we didn't mention is that we try to encourage people to choose a nonprofit in Nebraska, just so that the money stays local. So it does, and there's so many in Lincoln, and we have agents in Omaha, Plattsmouth, surrounding areas. So it's nice because they can choose. There's one. Where's Vic Mays is coming from?
Grand Island.
Grand Island. So they chose the Humane Society out in Grand Island, and so it's nice because lots of people have certain organizations that they volunteer with or are on the board, and so we do like to keep the money in Nebraska. We don't force it, but it is something that we try to encourage.
And I like to think that we're small but mighty.
Right.
There's about a dozen of us, so making a decent impact.
But doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's we're what we call a boutique brokerage. Just,
All of us.
and we all need to make a living, right? But as we've talked to there's agents that they don't. I have to give up part of my compensation. Yeah, you should do. If you want to work here, and be part of our group, that's part of our. To work here, you kind of have to be civic minded. You have to believe in what we're doing, and you have to be. We have an agreement that says I will, make these donations. So all these folks have all committed to that.
So there we all are. So.
And we're interested in adding agents, but we're not actively advertising like, hey, come work with us. It's been more of a word of mouth type thing. Our culture is very special to us, and we have really great people, and we want to kind of keep it that way, So we're certainly open to talking to. We've had a few other people thinking about getting their license that have reached out to us, or realtors that have asked about what we're doing and what it's like to work at your office. And so we've grown a little bit that way, but I've said it before. I think our culture is more important to us than growth, really. Maybe that's not the smartest business, money making strategy ever, but for us and where we are, it's really important to us that we keep the culture where we like it.
And that's that's what this is saying. Not everyone is going to fit with our model, and because they do have to donate a percentage of their commissions, and so. But when you find people that share that, then right away you have a connection with them because you share that ethic, and so it does help build our culture, and we all have that for sure in common, at least.
Our name's getting out there pretty well amongst the nonprofit community in Lincoln, which has been really exciting for us. Question?
Can I point out that the first time I met you two, Miriah had just won some amazing awards.
Yes. Miriah won the Inspire. I'm sorry, unless you'd like to
No, go ahead.
tell everybody how awesome you are.
Go ahead. You nominated me, so you go ahead.
At the Inspire Women's Awards, Miriah won the award. She was, and Josie was nominated. We had two nominees.
Finalists,
and finalists, and then, but Miriah won for entrepreneurship, right?
Excellence in entrepreneurship.
Excellence in entrepreneurship, which is really cool. There was thousands of women at the event, or people at the event, hundreds of nominees. It was a really neat honor, and we had two, and so people recognized that. I was getting texts like, "Oh my gosh, you have two nominees, two finalists at your firm. That is really cool." And then Miriah won, which was really, really. And when they announced, she was sitting to my right. When they announced her name as the winner, I heard her mumble under her breath, like, "Oh." And she might have said a cuss word, maybe, because she had to
Very
go
much an introvert. So 1,000 people was like,
it was like, oh crap, I have to
gotta
go
get up and say something.
up there now. She did great. Her speech was awesome.
Yes.
It was,
So yeah, that was really neat. Have any more slides? Yeah, and that's us. Everybody write this down so you can get a hold of us when you need to buy or sell a property in Lincoln. So,
Well, we'd like to ask all of our guests if they have a favorite tool that they have used along the way, favorite piece of advice, business or life advice, or a favorite resource that you would recommend to somebody in an entrepreneurial role.
wow.
I think for me, I don't necessarily have a tool, but in being in the different business environments and owning a small business is you have to be adaptable.
Mm-hmm.
Because every morning you think, okay, this is what I'm going to do today, and then none of that happens. Not a single thing that you expect is going to happen. And so, and even the course of your business, I think that's why a lot of, we used to write business plans, and now it's like, well, you can have an idea, but it's going to take a turn that you didn't even see coming. And so you really just have to be able to adapt to anything, because you have no idea what's coming around the corner, and which is exciting. But I think that's a trait that must be learned at some point.
Excellent advice.
Thank you.
The two of you have advice or resources or?
I just kind of want to touch on what Miriah said. I love the, anything I'm a big believer in, like, really loving what you do. I love coming to work every day. And part of what's so neat about real estate is it is very different. Each property is different, neighborhoods are different, and the family situation are different. And when I first got into real estate, I thought, this is going to be so much fun. I'm going to help people buy their dream home, and it's going to be great, right? And then I got my first family that called because my friend from school, his parents were dying, and they needed to do something. It was time to sell the family home that they'd had in their home for, it was over 60 years. And I got a real, like how important and how different every situation is, and how empathetic you have to be. It's not always exciting and fun. Sometimes it's, quite tragic. And we're able to help people in all kinds of phases in their life, good and bad. And, so being able to adapt to that, and it is something I enjoy, but it's also what makes it, challenging and everything every day. And then for a tool, having a laser tape measure.
There you go.
Really,
That is a great.
we're like, you can do I don't have to do this across the room anymore.
Oh my gosh. You made it.
Simple
You
things.
have a laser.
Yeah, simple things.
You're big time then.
Yeah, we both have one.
Yeah.
So,
What about favorite local restaurants or businesses besides your own?
Josie, you get to go first.
Okay, I like this one.
That's we love to eat.
Gosh, yeah. I mean, the Oven, Blue Orchid, Momo's.
Hacienda.
Try to do all the local, restaurants. We've got some nice ones.
Excellent choices.
Yeah.
For years, every Husker home football game, I'm at Duffy's Tavern.
Oh, yeah.
Tailgating has just been doing it forever. And we go with my friends, we gather out at the little patio out back. And I'll have people say, come to our tailgate. And I'll be like, yeah, sure, I'll try to stop by. But I never do. I'm at the beer garden at Duffy's every that's one of my favorite spots, and has been forever. I don't know why. I love all the locals too. I mean, Valentino's and runs out and I appreciate it more because my family that's from out of town, and they come back like, we have to go to Amigos, and we have to go to Runza for lunch tomorrow, and we have to have Valentino's pizza. Getting this classics all in, and so
Get that good ranch.
makes me appreciate that
It's all about the
people that used to live here and don't now appreciate those so much.
Absolutely. Great suggestion. About Miriah.
Well, so Hacienda Real is my favorite restaurant. Everyone knows this. And they are an amazing family. But, I mean, Yaya's, gosh, I'm trying to think there's so many good
There's so many good
restaurants.
ones,
And, the coffee house has incredible coffee and pastries. The cromlets are incredible if anyone has not ever had one.
Cromlets?
Yes, they make them there. It's like a croissant, but in the middle is like an egg. And you can do like spinach or bacon, or they have all different kinds, and they are incredible.
So like an
Sounds great.
omelet.
It's like an omelet in a croissant. Yeah, it is. Like, yeah, they're amazing. Yeah, you should. They're.
Final question before we open it up to the audience. What keeps you perked up and motivated to keep doing what you do?
Who wants to go first?
It's wine. No, I'm just kidding.
And it's what kind?
Yeah. True. I'm a red wine fan. Yes.
What's your favorite flavor thing?
Ooh, I don't have that. I don't have because I'm open to all of them. I don't know. I think just I like Matt. It's kind of odd. I never really thought I'd love going to work, but I do. I mean, I love going to our office, and I honestly, genuinely, really like everyone that we work with, and so
Relationships with our coworkers and our clients. Yeah. That's what it's all about for me.
I like, I'm not a workaholic, but I guess I'll attest to that. I like the challenge of work. I like to have, and I'm competitive too, so there's an element of me that, I like the challenge of solving problems, helping people. I love helping, giving a family the keys to their new house is just, and they're so excited. Like, that's the best feeling, and so, I'm kind of like, the more people I can help, the more I get that feeling, and the more I also helps me, feed my family too. So, and make an impact in the community. Like, so I love the challenge of it. That just keeps me motivated too. But I think we all balance very well. We have families, we have spouses and significant others, and so none of us are in there 100 hours or we're going to have a heart attack. We go to our kids' games. And that's important to all of us too. It's like, let's do work really well, but let's also not make it the only thing in our lives. There's other things more important than work too. So.
Which I think that's also one benefit of having 3 owners is that, when we know one of us is out of town and we're, the other two can cover. And, I think, Holly hopefully can attest that we're all available when and if someone needs us. And it's nice to not just, so you can kind of, oh, she's not available, just go down the track. And so you have 3 people that can support you at all times. And that's also nice for us when we're not available. And, so you really can actually kind of take a vacation, which for most business owners, that's not a possibility. And, we don't unplug completely, but it's way more than is possible with a lot of companies.
Can you share more about the dynamics of having 3 owners? That's, you got 3 head chiefs, right?
Yeah.
How did you set that up, or maybe that's the answer to my question. Miriah, how did you set that up? Who was going to be responsible for what? Who has final say on what? How does that agreement work? John? I did hear him, yes. Who's the visionary? Who's the leader? Yeah.
Who's the integrator?
I am the integrator. He's probably
I'm probably the visionary.
And Josie is middle between us.
Okay.
Yep.
So
both skills, really. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
I think
you do, yeah. We complement each other.
Yeah.
Mariah's the kind of person, I love saying that, and this is true. I'll be like, I need, this thing, and she'll just be listening to me and typing, and it's on the printer. And I,
Literally.
and I could have worked on it for 2 weeks to try to figure out, how to, and that's the kind of person she is. And then I'm obviously love this kind of thing. So I feel like my role is best to try to get our name out there and, tell people about Giving Realty and try to attract clients to our business. And Josie makes all of our listings look good. And, it has this design eye that's amazing. So if I have a house that needs some sprucing up or some staging, these guys do that for me, and Josie's our leader in that, making sure all
I
of our...
just carry things.
Yeah.
She just
So like we all have these complementary skill sets. In the end, though, Miriah is our managing broker.
Okay.
As, the managing broker is responsible for all the realtors. So she's also our financial person. So she's definitely, we point to her with But if there's a big decision that needs to be made, personnel, we've had some some things come up, of course, and a new business, and they're all kind of new. We'll sit down, the three of us, and have a meeting and talk about ways to solve problems. And I don't know that there's any one person that's the final, like, this is what I've decided. We've never really had that have to happen yet.
We're equal owners, and so we kind of have the majority rules, right? But I don't think we do that per se. We talk until we all can come to a conclusion that we all feel good about. And I think communication is so big, because there's things that come up that aren't really fun to talk about, and they're not fun to deal with, and but we all have enough respect for each other that we can do it in a professional way that we all feel good about whatever decision it is.
That's the beauty of being so intentional about your culture, that you can come back to okay, what are our shared values here? What are we trying to accomplish here? And so I do think that culture matters more than other things.
Yeah,
I would agree.
We do. I hear stories. I'm in the leadership for the Realtors Association of Lincoln, and so I'm at all the meetings where we're talking about this firm suing that firm, or this realtor suing this realtor, or just all the crapola that's out there, agents fighting, and I'm so thankful that we just don't. I don't think we would allow it, and we don't have people. We don't invite the people, and they don't come to us either. Those people are the more selfish or whatever. I don't.
That makes my palms sweaty.
Yeah, we don't have that
drama.
You have different rules.
Yeah.
We're careful about who we bring into our circle, so we don't have. Now there's been some drama, right? But nothing like I hear about on some of the other. There's 1,200 real estate agents in the city of Lincoln. So there's anytime you have that amount of people, there's going to be a variety of personalities and egos and all of those things. And protecting our culture has been super important to us. Yeah.
Absolutely. Does anybody have questions or comments for our panel? I know, John, you're probably sitting there just waiting.
Part of your vision going forward, you got your culture, but where you see yourself in 5 years down the road. I know that's kind of a typical question people ask. Very unique when people are. Where do you see that going? I don't know if that's Miriah with that question.
I can go. Yeah. We just opened an Omaha office, which we're very excited about. And that's very small. There's pretty much 3. And then we have another agent, or we're talking to 2 potential new agents. So we're very excited about that. I see us kind of continuing to be a boutique style. The way we're set up with the giving back, I don't think we're going to attract hundreds of agents that want to come be at our firm. I just don't. But we will. The ones we do that are attracted to our firm are the right ones, And so my vision is, and we've talked about this too, is maybe someday there's a Giving Realty Kansas City, or but I don't expect it to have 2,000 agents. Maybe another 30 agents here and 30 agents here and 15 agents here, that kind of thing. I could see it growing because people believe in what we're doing, and the nonprofit community in Lincoln has really embraced us and supports us, and so I could see it growing on a smaller scale, and I could see it expanding into some other markets for sure. We're only 2 years in, so we're kind of let's make sure we take care of our current market. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but we're very excited about our move to Omaha, and we think good things can happen there, and word spread there. And Joe had questions.
So are you taking this into, which I've asked before, into franchises, or just doing a model?
We haven't gotten that far yet, right? Okay. Yeah, right now it's just a what do you call it, a satellite office, I guess more. Our Omaha office would be. Yeah. Is that the best way to describe it? Yeah. So corporate owned.
A branch office, yeah.
Yeah, branch. Yeah, yeah.
Allows you to make more money, but it becomes even more complicated on, are you selling, kind of like Chick-fil-A, okay, they still maintain their franchises.
Right.
Sell them, but they still have control, whereas other ones have franchises where they really don't have control, they just sold, the right to use their name.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah, real estate gets a little tricky too because you always have to have a broker that's licensed in that state running those offices. So, I'm attempting to work on my Iowa license someday. And so that will be kind of the next, because a lot of our Omaha agents, they're in Council Bluffs, so they have clients, right there. So that's kind of our next immediate expansion. But as far as franchising, that, again, like you said, that brings a whole new set of difficulties. Plus, you have all these license issues. And so that'd be awesome.
It would be really
someday,
neat, yeah.
But
You have to have a broker in your Omaha office or just in the state?
just in the state.
Okay, so you can operate.
Yep, so I do. Yep,
Right.
yep.
Yep.
You're the only broker that needs it.
Correct. Yeah, and I could do Iowa too. So it gets a little hairy in different states because each state has different licenses. But and it also depends how many agents are there. Essentially, you have to be able to say that you can oversee what they're doing. So if you have 20 people in Iowa and I never go to Iowa, then obviously that's
Right. We would need. We would get a broker for each office eventually.
Other questions, comments?
What was your inspiration? Is this a national model or a national concept, or is it homegrown, locally grown? I'm just curious what your inspiration was.
So Josie and I, when we first decided, before we even started getting our licenses, I've always been in small business. I've never really wanted to work in a large corporate firm. And so we knew, I had to know, I guess, that if I went into real estate, I knew I'd want to do my own thing eventually, and I needed to know there was a different way of doing it than what everyone sees, right? So what the typical models are. So we found a place in Colorado, we found Austin, Texas, and so I just scoured the internet for how are people doing real estate differently. And we took bits and pieces from all of them, and then so we kind of came down to our final with, the green aspect and then the giving back aspect.
Regarding the green aspect, are you marketing that, or do you want to put it
We don't as much, no, not at this point. So
I can see that going forward as a plus.
yeah. We thought, maybe we even attract a builder that's kind of going to start doing some green building, something along those lines.
And awareness inside people's mind, and having that as part of your marketing, you recognize and offer promotion of whatever you're doing.
Yeah.
And the second question.
No, this is your portion.
How are you adapting with the changes in interest rates right now, and has that impacted you in any way in terms of
I get to talk about the market. Since April of 2022, the real estate market has been on a steady, slow decline. It's been home sales, new listings, and that part of that is because of the rise. That's kind of when interest rates went from 3 to 4 to 5 to 6 to 7, and now they're back between 5 and 6, maybe low 6s. So, but we've locked in a few clients in the 5s. So that. Nationwide has slowed everything down. And people are talking. There's some doom and gloomers out there, but we're really not feeling that at all. Lincoln very much has still a seller's market. There's a very low inventory of homes available for sale in Lincoln, and so that keeps Lincoln to be the seller's market. Even though when we had that and we had interest rates at 3, I literally called it the perfect storm. It's kind of silly, but because it was a great market for buyers if you could find a house to buy, and it was an awesome market for sellers because we all heard stories of people selling their house for $15,000, $20,000 over what they were asking, 10, 15 bids. So, but it was still a pretty good time to buy because your money was cheap. So, it's leveled out a little bit more. It's what they're calling, I'm referred to as a kind of a market correction. Interest rates are up back where they should be a little more historically, but we still have a good seller's market because of this low inventory situation. And that's in.
Families that don't know, haven't talked to me yet, why some home street should be chartered here.
Yeah.
13 and 15.
Right.
Yeah. 5's not so bad then.
Yeah.
And it is about perspective, John. I had clients sat on the table, and when I have what I call buyer's consultation, where we discuss what they want, what neighborhood they want to be in, their goals and their budget, and how many bedrooms they need, and all of those things. And the husband was like, rates were 7%, and he's like, "This is not bad at all. I paid 12, 20 years ago. So like 7's not bad, historically, but some of the newer buyers are like, oh my gosh, rates went from 5 to 7, and really as someone who has a little more historical perspective, 7 is still near historic lows, really. So
What's the saying you use?
Date the rate, marry the house. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you can refinance
You can
later.
refinance.
Yeah,
I like
yeah.
that.
And a lot of sellers are offering concessions, like we weren't seeing that for the last couple of years, but now you can buy down your points if someone is concerned about interest rates. So there's creative financing opportunities out there too.
I think the other thing that impacts is rental rates in Lincoln are pretty high.
Yeah.
They
And
are.
so to rent is still, even a mortgage is oftentimes more affordable than renting. One bedrooms apartments are going for $1,200, and you can definitely get a mortgage for that, and so I think that has impacted us on a positive way, and our investors like it.
mm-hmm.
So it's a positive place.
Can you talk about being in an industry that is so affected by external threats, pandemic, interest rates, things that are beyond your control?
It's not as bad as being a farmer. That's
True. Very true.
Yeah, that's my cousin is a farmer, and I'm like, how the weather is every day. At least we don't have rates change a little, but yeah. Go ahead.
5 or 6 years ago, the big worry was in the industry is what they were calling disruptors, people like Zillow, and that are coming in like, they were buying and selling homes in some markets. It never really got here to Lincoln, but in Phoenix, Zillow was buying and selling homes, and companies. There was all kinds of them back then. Purple Bricks, I think they've come and gone. Open Door, there was just a ton of people like online trying to figure out like how can we sell houses online. But that was a huge, that people were thinking that was going to be a real threat. But in the end, it's a relationship business, and someone needs to guide, our contract is 17, 18 pages long. Do you really want to do that online with not talking to anybody or maybe not even touring the house? I think there's this element of, there's always going to be a need for that personal connection. Will there be 1,200 realtors in 5 years? I kind of wonder if there'll be more than that or less than that. I'm not totally sure about that. There sure has been a ton of venture capitalist money thrown into the real estate market to try to change it up, from its historic, market conditions.
I think the one thing that's important is, most time people's home is their largest investment, right? So you don't want to just buying a car online, okay, maybe, but a home is a lot scarier, and you need someone you can trust to explain. Most of us don't deal in legal contracts every day,
Right.
and you need to have someone that you trust, like Matt said, that can, you trust them to explain it and to, have your best interest in mind. And
I'm just curious, with you being involved in the leadership of real estate agents in Lincoln and things, out of that 1,200 agents in Lincoln, how is there a certain percentage that you can put your finger on of who are making with the low inventory?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I don't know how many houses come available a month. There's with 1,200 agents and
Yeah.
I don't know, 200 houses a month. I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
I mean, it's somewhere that's got to level out.
I was so this is very off the cuff, but 1,200 realtors, there's 400 that sell a house a year.
Okay.
That kind
So
of
a third.
part-time, just have their license. Maybe they're a real estate investor and they want to be able to see what's on the market, but they don't do a lot of transactions. And then there's the middle portion that probably sells between 1 and 5 million a year, so they're making a pretty good living. And then there's 300, like Andrew here is like has a magazine called Top Producers, and I think that market goes out to the top 300 realtors in town. And then there's 50 that sell a lot of real estate, and Josie and I are in that group. Sorry, no, but really, there's Vladimir. I mean, we've all seen Vladimir. There's kind of that top tier. So it's kind of tiered that way a little bit. Vladimir's number one. Yeah, does a ton of real estate, crazy amount.
How you eat.
Yeah, there's plenty of realtors that don't eat.
Or they have other jobs. I mean, there's a lot.
Exactly. Or have a part-time job. Right.
For sure. Yeah, especially kind of, once you, I think a lot of people think I can get my license and I can just go sell houses. Well, it's really your network. Like you can go ahead and buy leads on Zillow, but those leads just went out to 50 other realtors too, right? So it has to be about who you know and your network. And, do you have people that trust you with something like that? So
That's it. It's a relationship.
Yep,
exactly.
it is.
Yep, exactly. Yeah.
And the market in Lincoln has been really strong for 5 or 6 years. In 2018, we had 800 realtors, and we have 1,200 now. So, our last month's meeting, we put in 40 new realtors. And we all joked around the room at our board of directors meeting, they'll think it's really easy. You just throw your sign in the yard and the house sells later that day. And, and it is not that way at all, But the market conditions for a while there were, especially, you see the sign go up down the street from you, and then later that day or the next day, there's a sold bag, sold sign up. So, I think people thought it was easy,
I think average days on market last month was 14 before it went under contract.
Still,
unless you're Jenny and it's 1.
That's so good.
Yeah.
Very,
Yeah, it's great. Yeah.
Very fast moving market in Lincoln.
If it's priced appropriately, it will sell. I think people think that it was last year and they can get top dollar pricing, and that it's not that market anymore. It needs to be move-in ready. It needs to, be priced appropriately for the market. Then they'll sell. But if it's overpriced, you're going to see it sit in the price reductions. That sort of thing.
Our firm had a cute little house on Washington Street go on the market this morning, and by the time we got here, we had 6 calls on that house, and it's under 200,000, and that's where it's really fast moving because there's a lot. That's where most of the buyers are. There's less buyers at $850,000. There's a lot of buyers at 250 and under. So it's still. It's kind of buckle your seatbelt this morning, wow, we have 6 people, and lining them up to see the house and trying not to get them on top of each other and, give them some space. So.
Probably knew that was coming, right? You definitely know what's probably.
That price point is, with that price point, it is, the higher you kind of wait a little while, but with that price point, there's just so few homes, and there's so many people, buyers in that, area. And so that it is,
The location on that one is very important.
Ryan and I are working with a client who wanted a 4-bedroom house with 2-car garage under 200,000 in South Lincoln, and it's 0, not 1.
Yeah, we ran.
Sorry, we had to I'd love to help you, but so we're just kind of keeping an eye on the market to find, and he might have to go to a 3-bedroom with a, non-conforming room or something like that, But Lincoln is very much seller's market because of that low inventory that's available.
What neighborhoods?
Yes, We work with anybody, like really, some of the clients will have gone through the Neighbor Works program and we're happy to help them, but not necessarily specifically like Neighbor Works agents. I think we've been through they have courses where they kind of train the realtors on their programs, and I'm sure most of us have been through those. So we certainly do, yes.
They've purchased a couple of our listings too. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So they're great to work with, and we love what they do.
Well, and both of you are complimentary because they want to first-time buyers in a home to be able to
Yeah.
and you guys are all about the culture of giving and whatnot. So
Yeah.
it's a
Oh,
great
absolutely.
year.
Oh,
Yep.
for sure.
Mhm.
Yeah. What they do is incredible. I mean, most of their homes that they have, when the buyers move in, they have instant equity because of all the updates that NeighborWorks just did for them. I mean, they put in new windows, put a new furnace, redo the roof, and they didn't have to pay for that. And so when they move, it's a great program.
Oh, I love it.
Mm-hmm.
I teach business ethics for Midland University in Fremont. One of the topics is corporate social responsibility. And that's what I hear you guys talking about. But when I put it that way, does anything else come to mind in terms of what your mission is or what your vision is or what social responsibility you feel that you have to the community?
Well, one thing that we also didn't touch on is that we also make sure that our agents and us, we volunteer all the time. So we're not just giving money, but we're out there in the community, Center for People in Need. We won an award for the Lincoln Homeless Coalition. Yeah, thank you. And then the director is there and she's like, I need people tomorrow for our Thanksgiving distribution. And so we had like 9 people,
Yeah.
Like the next day,
We all
it's like,
showed
here's
up,
what we're
None of
doing.
your agents.
Yeah.
And so it is, we make sure that that's also part of what we're doing. We're not just
Constantly.
giving money, which it's fortunate, people can give money, but being out and actually doing the work. Josie and I started at the gathering place. Our moms made us get out of the house when we were 13. And no one was hiring 13-year-olds. So we got to take wallpaper, like 5 layers of wallpaper out of the gathering place. And so they have a little like secret place in our heart. So we just cleaned up the yard for their big event. We're out there picking up cigarette butts and, it's not glamorous all the time. And so, but we also serve there. And so I think everybody has, one of our agents loves animals and she worked at NAMC. So she's over there or she's at the Humane Society. And so it's important for us to make sure that you're spending your time there as well.
Volunteer at Clinton. We have a little
yeah.
food pantry outside our office that we stock.
Yes, if anyone has extra food items, it gets emptied several times a day.
Yeah.
We're kind of in a little food desert over there where the only kind of grocery is Dollar Tree or General
Dollar
Tree.
whatever it is, and food there is not good and it's really expensive. And so our pantry gets utilized so much.
Where's your office located?
At 12th and High, so Indian Village, right behind the shopping center. Yeah, and so our little free pantry is just sitting right out front, and people walk by daily. And
Did you pick that location because of your mission?
we picked it because Matt owns the building.
We get a really good deal on rent.
Yeah, exactly. It's a great name. Our first one office was right by Lincoln High. And so it was, we liked that neighborhood and we had our pantry there for a reason. And so, yes, I think we do like to be in neighborhoods that, I grew up right by our office. Josie is a mile away, so.
Given some of the things the mayor's talking about, and this goes back to what George was talking about, how do you see your role as realtors in a growing market of trying to create low-income housing, free housing for that? How can you be a part of that if you choose to? Obviously, you can sell 300,000 more homes to make a living, but as part of your vision, how do you see your ability to integrate into this with the newer things coming out in terms of growing housing?
It gets, unfortunately, it gets really difficult to participate in some of those projects because they're so big and they're multi-million-dollar. That's why you see a lot of out-of-state, companies coming in to build. Companies from Minneapolis coming in to build 200 apartment unit complex, things like that. They're massive multi-million-dollar projects. So unfortunately, we're not when Giving Realty is nationwide, we'll be building, but, so we're somewhat limited to, on those bigger scale, like the mayor talking about bringing 10,000 affordable homes to Lincoln over the next 10 years. We have a little development where we're building some townhouses that qualify for, but the builder and our little development company, we did 14. And that was,
But they do qualify for.
But they do qualify for,
a grant.
if you have or earn a certain amount, depending on your familiar status, how many people you have in your household and what your income is, you can potentially qualify for some funding for these townhouses. But literally, we do 14. So it's not going to solve the $10,000 or 10,000 unit.
Well,
shortage.
and Matt has a listing right now that actually a organization in Omaha is coming, and they're turning it into low-income housing.
Mm-hmm.
So he's kind of, on the other side of it, but it's a place that has potential.
Your philosophy and your vision.
Oh yeah, we'd love it. And I think so. Our office space in Omaha, they are developing. It's downtown Omaha and 19th and Howard, and right across they're developing a low-income housing for single mothers and single women, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and so they're doing that, which is, we are in a, we'd love, hopefully we'll be affiliated with that, but it's, they haven't even broken ground on it yet, but yeah. So, but it's nice to be aligned, to know what's coming.
Final question or comment?
Thank you, everybody.
Are you guys gonna
Fantastic
be
questions.
At the Home and Garden Show.
Yes, we have a booth.
Want to plug that?
Giving Realty, we do have a booth at the Home and Garden Show. I'm going a little later today to kind of get everything ready. So I'm not exactly sure where we are, but come find us. We'll be there.
Good deal. Thank you so much for being here this morning, all three of you. Thank you, everybody, for being here and everybody watching this on YouTube. And next week is National Entrepreneurship Week, so we invite you all to celebrate our local entrepreneurs in our community. Monday, our theme is based on volunteering, so we encourage you to get involved with your favorite nonprofit or place that you can make an impact in our community. So we will see you all next week, and have a great rest of your day.
Yeah.
Thank you all.